Yo, what's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. This is 365 days of writing a short story every day until I become a better storyteller, artist, writer. So today is day 39, I believe, for my YouTube channel, 39. And yeah, I have a brand new story for you. This time I didn't do no rough draft for this one. Well, I did, but I'm just gonna perform the revision. I'm just gonna recite the revisions. And yeah, it's more polished. It's more structured. It's called Cattle Black. The dried soil perfectly preserved the circular imprints. Something of a great mass had left them behind. The prints stretched for several meters, leading toward a narrow shift in the canyon. Nash walked alongside the tracks with determination in each step. The wind howled past his ears, lightly pushing him towards the edge. The animal's journey had ended with the last set of tracks. Nash gazed into the deep canyon below. His clothing danced on the howling winds. There it lay, its body motionless. Small critters and buzzards picked flesh from its protruding rib cage. Nash outlined a cross over his chest. He then turned away from the edge. In the foreground were a crew of cattlers, known as the best in all of the land. They offered him freedom years ago, thanks to his keen tracking ability. Anytime a cattle strayed too far from the herd, he could always locate them within a few days during his servitude. He was forced to hunt runways. He was forced to hunt runaways. This left a deep imprint on his mind that would always lead him back to his soul. No amount of wages could ever sever that. The cattlers weren't any better than his original overseers, slightly different in features, but their hair flowed past their shoulders like rivers at nighttime, and a prominent nose like the settlers, and their eyes were slanted same as a sunrise. It's harder to read their stiff faces, but the flares behind their eyes always telegraph their cold emotions. Never dismounting their mustangs, glaring downward at Nash. Shanka, what did you see? He he boasted. Nash hesitated to speak, averting his eyes in shame. That cattle gone, he said, walking towards his steed. The leader of the lead cattler's brows raised, furrowing in disappointment. That's a loss of profit. Our wage just got smaller. The second stated as he nudged his horse back towards the trail. The crew's the crew the crew's top priority was turning a good profit. There was no such thing as an honest businessman in this place. Nash is just a tool to them, a slave, an animal, a shunka. A few days later, the cattlers and Nash had arrived at a plantation to collect their wages. The lead cattler approached a man with a sharp hat and shiny shoes. He was dressed very odd, like he was from another place. Thank you, Mr. Morgan, he said, tipping his hat next, thumbing through the wages. It's the first he is the first he ever lowered his bravado. It's the first time he ever lowered his bravado. Nash observed their interaction from outside the plantation, reading their body language like an open book, keeping his distance as he gripped the handle of his revolver. They turned their attention towards Nash. The plantation owner then turned his back. They finally parted ways. The leader walked heavily towards the crew. mounting his horse, looking over his shoulder. Well, we got a new job. This the big one, boys. Mr. Morgan made an offer to catch a few uh, runaways, cattle. What do you say, Nash? His voice went colder than usual. His words hid a sinister inflection. Yes, sir, Nash replied with his mouth, but doubtfully with his eyes, taking one last glance at the large plantation. Hours later, the crew set up a campsite. The smoke stream, the smoke, the smoke stream at the campsite acted as a beacon in case they roamed too far. The leader stayed beside Nash as they searched for the cattle far and wide. Boss, I ain't seen no cattle tracks yet. Staring calmly into grassy meadows. Well, keep looking. They gotta be around here somewhere, the boss said calmly, crouching towards the ground with a golden, dangling coal lamp, scanning the ground for dampness, then raising his gaze, searching for splits in the meadows. Critters scurried around his feet. The light resembled a grounded star as its measured illumination pierced through the restricting green blades. He grew leery. Suddenly, a branch snapped in the distance. Then something dashed through the grass. Nash made it out on the other side, but he still didn't see the cattle. Fireflies hovered with green pulsating twinkles. The thick smell of them, the thick smell of moss wafted through the air. Large tree trunks stretched towards the skies in every direction, obscuring his sight. The soil's texture dampened into mud. He crouched once more. He noticed various imprints. The shape indicates a large cattle or something else. Its tracks dug deeply into the mud. Another branch snapped, holding the lamp in front of him and inching towards the direction of the sound. More branches snapped, then a loud splash into the swamp. The scenery blurred into darkness, ducking and dodging branches, jumping over large roots. He's located the runaway. Their eyes widened with terror and welled up with tears as the lamp blared in their face. Human screams burst into the trees, their clothing muddied. They've been running for days. Their mother winced as she wrapped her arms around them. Nash froze, his gaze filled with regret. Crouching down, he tried to calm them. Nash! 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 The leader yelled off in the distance. The mother's eyes scanned for the direction of the sound. Another splash. Nash tossed the lamp into the swamp to hide under the cover of the darkness. Shush! He gestured. Shush. Shush, he gestured, placing his index finger on his lips. The leader curiously inched into the moss when he noticed a gleam of light in the swamp. Damn idiot. Lost his life, he murmured to the darkness. Hiding behind a tree, Nash gripped his gun. Sweat beaded on his face. Breathing slowly through his nostrils, he focused his sight. The cattler gave up his efforts, retreating back towards his horse. The mothers, wincing, slowly recanted as they gazed deeply into one another's eyes. She's never known safety, and he's never known purpose. I like this one, but I think I like this one. I think I still made some more mistakes. Um, I think I'm gonna have to start writing at least two rough drafts, so that way I can really get it to flow the way I want. But anyway, suffice to say, I enjoyed it, and it's another story I'm proud of. So yeah, man, you gotta believe in yourself before anybody else do when nobody's looking.